From KUNC and the NPR network, this is In the NOCO, a daily slice of Northern Colorado news and happenings. It's Thursday, March 14th. I'm Erin O'Toole. Imagine keeping your cool with 10 crying babies in a classroom. Yeah, childcare is hard work, and it's crucial to our fast-growing community.
We're not just babysitters. We just don't show up in a warehouse and play with kids all day. The work that we do is essential so that children are ready for school, to enter kindergarten. They're ready at third grade reading levels, and they're ready to graduate high school.
That's Ann Lance with Teaching Tree Early Childhood Learning Center, a Larimer County nonprofit that primarily serves low and middle income families. It's among the childcare providers navigating a nationwide childcare shortage that's hitting Colorado hard. I visited her at the newly opened Loveland Youth Campus to learn more about how the landscape of childcare has changed and how they're hoping to make a big dent in the need.
Back in 1970, when we started in the First United Methodist Church, we started serving ages 2 because mothers often kept their infants home, and when their children turned 2, they would enter the workforce. And that has changed significantly over time, where now mothers are needing care for their young babies so that they can stay in the workforce and not have that gap in their employment. The model that we look at is really ages 6 weeks up to age 5 for the services that we provide. What was unique about this partnership in Loveland is that we could now be a birth to 18 campus, but because we're really 6 weeks to age 5, we could probably take on older kids, but there's the Boys and Girls Club who can do that work. So that's the beauty of partnership and collaboration, is that we don't have to do all of that work. We are really good and focus really good on ages 6 weeks to 5, and we're going to stay in that lane, and then we're going to let the Boys and Girls Club take 5 plus. So that's what makes this unique collaboration and partnership work so well.
And could you talk about why this campus model is so important?
What we like about the campus model is that it's wraparound services for families. We know that for families to drop off their children, to have a one-stop location if we eventually get a physician on site, then they can get their vaccinations. If mental health services, we know that families don't always access mental health services when they need it, but if it's on site where they pick up their children and can just go upstairs and get the services they need instead of go across town, that's when we lose families, is when they are picking up their children and they have to go somewhere else for services. But if it's all under one roof, that's what makes the most sense for families.
Could we switch gears and talk a little bit about just the difficulty in the childcare landscape? And I know you've been in your position for a while. Talk about the difficulties of hiring people to work in childcare.
Most definitely the biggest challenge that we have, and why you don't see a lot of childcare centers popping up, it's because of staffing. And the challenge is that to hire someone, to stand alone with kids, to be alone in a classroom with kids, they do have to have some qualifications. And so we don't always, when we run a hiring ad, have applicants that are qualified right away. So we really struggle with that. And we can get them trained, but it takes some time to get them trained for the qualifications that they need. Right. So that is definitely one hurdle that we've had to overcome. And then, what COVID has done to us and what's done to many businesses, not just childcare, is just the applicants not there. And so that's unique challenge in itself, and I feel like that's why for our organization to grow into this new space, that slow growth will be key so that we can hire people slowly, because we know that they're not all going to be there at one time.
Very true. I realize one of the challenges contributing to the childcare shortage also is that provider pay is usually not that high. Could you talk about how Teaching Tree is trying to address that?
Yeah, the other great thing, and again, we take pieces of COVID, and it did provide some great opportunities for us. We were able to, with the funding that we were able to get, look at implementing monthly bonuses for staff, extra paid days off. So although it might not be the actual pay that's received on their paycheck, it's about culture, and it's also looking at how can we think outside the box through benefits, through other ways that they can earn pay that isn't sustainable just through their actual wage, but looking at it as a whole, an IRA plan, health insurance, dental insurance, vision insurance, looking again at monthly bonuses as a way to increase pay, and also looking at how staff can take care of their own mental health with paid days off for them. We had implemented last year wellness bonuses for staff to say, hey, go take care of yourself. This is a hard job. We know that. So again, looking at the bigger picture besides just pay. The other thing that we do at Teaching Tree is we run 3 teachers in each classroom. Most centers run 2. That third teacher really helps increase quality in the classroom. It allows for teachers to have breaks throughout the day. It allows for teachers to leave the classroom and do planning time. Those things are so important to increase professionalism in the field. Just like teachers in the school district, our teachers they're professionals, and we need to treat them that way. And so looking at all aspects that we can do that really helps.
How do we get more community members to kind of buy in to prioritizing childcare as a community need? I mean, we know that this lack of childcare options has a much broader effect that stretches beyond families who need it.
I think it's really sending the message of the importance of our work, that we're not just babysitters, that we just don't show up in a warehouse and play with kids all day. The work that we do is essential so that children are ready for school. To enter kindergarten, they're ready at 3rd grade reading levels, and they're ready to graduate high school. Those are those long-term benefits that make this work so valuable and important that we need to really send that message to everyone in the community. But also, many people still are in the mindset that moms should just stay home with their kids. And that is a tough road because it's about a career path, and many working families, mothers, fathers, whatever it may be, want to keep that career path because they don't want to, lose what they have and earning potential. So I feel like that's where we're at as a society and a world. And so really honing in on that importance of the work that we do and the importance for families making that choice to put their children in childcare so that they can support their career. I think those 2 things is what we really need to talk about in our community and, focus on.
Is there something that you wish more people understood about childcare and the life of a childcare provider?
Yeah, it's hard work. You go into any one of our classrooms, as you've seen today. It's not an easy job. 10 babies in a classroom, crying babies, meeting and attending to all of their needs. 24 preschoolers in a classroom that you need to focus on their learning and preparing them for school. It's a hard job. And so I would just say it's an awesome and rewarding job at the same time. I wouldn't have be here for 24 years if I didn't really truly believe the work we do is just amazing in our community. It's long-term effects for children that we like to see and the growth that can happen. So childcare is where it's at.
Okay. You can find more info about Loveland Youth Campus and Teaching Tree Early Childhood Learning Center in our show notes and at kunc.org. That's it for us today here on In the NOCO. We'll be back tomorrow with more of what's happening in Northern Colorado. Robin Vincent is our executive producer. I'm your host, Erin O'Toole. We'll see you next time.